Led Zeppelin stands as one of the most influential and successful rock bands of all time, revolutionizing the music landscape in the late 1960s and 1970s. Formed in 1968 by guitarist Jimmy Page, the band included lead vocalist Robert Plant, bassist and keyboardist John Paul Jones, and drummer John Bonham. Known for their powerful sound, blending blues, folk, and psychedelia with hard rock, Led Zeppelin played a crucial role in shaping genres like hard rock and heavy metal, paving the way for generations of musicians. Their sound was groundbreaking, from Plant's soaring vocals to Bonham's thunderous drumming, and from Jones's versatile musicianship to Page's innovative guitar riffs. With 8 studio albums and a legacy that has endured decades, Led Zeppelin left a permanent mark on the music industry. Their concerts were legendary, their albums highly influential, and their mystique grew into a myth over time, largely due to their refusal to conform to the conventions of the music industry and a preference for letting their art speak for itself. Yardbirds and Jimmy Page's vision. Start with Jimmy Page's time with the Yardbirds and his vision for a new kind of band after the Yardbirds disbanded in 1968. Formation of Led Zeppelin, how Page brought together Robert Plant, John Bonham, and John Paul Jones. Discuss the band's initial rehearsals and chemistry. Early influences, blues, folk, and the sounds of American rock and roll that influenced the band members and would eventually define their sound. First recordings and debut album. Describe the making of Led Zeppelin I, recorded in just over 30 hours, which showcased their unique blend of hard rock, blues, and psychedelia. Led Zeppelin I and II, analyze the first 2 albums, discussing standout tracks like Dazed and Confused and Whole Lotta Love. Critical reception and controversies, touch on how critics were initially skeptical of the band, often dismissing them as another blues rock act, despite their growing popularity with fans. Innovations and breakthroughs, describe how their live performances became known for their intensity and extended improvisations, setting new standards for rock concerts. Building a loyal fanbase, talk about how Led Zeppelin cultivated their fanbase through relentless touring, mostly avoiding mainstream media and TV appearances in favor of word-of-mouth reputation. Influence of blues and folk, discuss how the band integrated blues and folk elements, giving their sound both an earthy and mystical quality. Heavy guitar riffs and thunderous drumming, explored Jimmy Page's guitar techniques, John Bonham's drumming style, and how they became iconic. Robert Plant's vocals and lyricism, analyzed Plant's vocal style, lyrical themes that often delved into mythology and mysticism, and his influence on future rock vocalists. John Paul Jones's musical versatility, highlight Jones's role as the band's multi-instrumentalist, arranging strings, playing bass, and contributing to their genre-blending sound. Led Zeppelin III and IV, detail the release and legacy of these albums, especially focusing on Led Zeppelin IV, which included Stairway to Heaven, often regarded as one of the greatest rock songs of all time. Houses of the Holy and Physical Graffiti, discuss the experimentation in Houses of the Holy, including tracks like No Quarter and The Song Remains the Same, and the sprawling creativity of Physical Graffiti. Later albums, analyze Presence, The Song Remains the Same live album, In Through the Outdoor, and Coda as the band's final works, showcasing their evolution and struggles. Notable tracks, cover some of their most influential tracks, such as Kashmir, Rock and Roll, Black Dog, and Immigrant Song, discussing their musical innovation and cultural impact. Influence on heavy metal and hard rock, examine how Led Zeppelin laid the groundwork for genres like heavy metal, influencing bands like Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, and later, Metallica and Guns N' Roses. Pioneers of the album-oriented era, discuss their role in shifting the music industry's focus from singles to full albums as cohesive artistic statements. Stage presence and live performances, delve into their reputation as one of the greatest live bands in rock history, with elaborate stage setups, powerful sound, and a nearly mythical stage presence. Mystique and persona, explore how Led Zeppelin's limited media appearances, along with their enigmatic and often controversial behaviors, fueled their mystique and solidified their legendary status. Personal struggles, discuss the personal issues that began to affect the band, including drug and alcohol problems, and how these influenced their music and performances. Tragic loss of John Bonham, describe Bonham's death in 1980, which led to the band's decision to disband, and the impact of this loss on rock music. Final years and legacy. Briefly touch on Led Zeppelin's attempts to reunite, including the 2007 London performance with Jason Bonham on drums. Impact on future musicians. Discuss how Led Zeppelin inspired countless musicians across genres, from rock to metal to blues. Enduring popularity. Talk about the continued success of Led Zeppelin's music decades after their peak, including reissues, live albums, and streaming success. Induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and other honors. Highlight their critical accolades and recognition within the music industry. Cultural influence. Touch on how Led Zeppelin became more than a band, they became a symbol of rock's rebellion, innovation, and musical excellence. Led Zeppelin's impact on rock music is immeasurable. Formed in London in 1968, the band quickly rose to fame and left an indelible mark on the music world. Combining elements of blues, folk, and psychedelia, Led Zeppelin was a musical juggernaut that pushed the boundaries of rock with every album they released. Guitarist Jimmy Page, already a respected musician from his work with the Yardbirds, sought to create something entirely new, a heavy, electric sound that would give birth to hard rock and eventually inspire genres like heavy metal. At the heart of Led Zeppelin's music were the distinct talents of each member. Robert Plant's powerful and versatile voice carried a range of emotions, from haunting whispers to primal screams. John Bonham's drumming was intense, often overshadowing traditional rhythmic rolls and adding a dynamic, driving force to the band's sound. John Paul Jones's versatility on bass, keyboards, and other instruments made him the unsung hero of the group, enriching their soundscapes with subtlety and sophistication. And at the center of it all was Page, whose innovative guitar techniques and production vision transformed Led Zeppelin's recordings into sonic masterpieces. Their self-titled debut album, Led Zeppelin, introduced the world to their intense sound, and their reputation only grew with subsequent albums. They quickly amassed a devoted fan base, while pioneering the concept of the album as an art form in itself, rather than just a collection of singles. Today, Led Zeppelin is celebrated as one of the greatest rock bands of all time, with an influence that has spanned generations and continues to resonate. Their mystique, talent, and groundbreaking approach to music have solidified their place as legends in rock history.